SpunOut.ie ventured to Brussels and Strasbourg to find out more about the European Parliament, what it does and how it works. We talked to MEPs, NGOs and European Parliament staff about their thoughts and views on a range of different topics. In this video, we asked them how we as EU citizens can create and affect change at a European level.
I think the bottom line is that Irish people have been and continue to be, in my mind, in my opinion, a lot poorer at lobbying than their European counterparts. We don't tend to organise and lobby in as professional a manner as the Europeans do, and they're really effective at this in mainland Europe. We would have a huge amount of requests from lobbyists from all different social persuasions, from all different political parties, political spectrums. But what we find is the lobbying from the Irish is not as organised, it's not as structured, and unfortunately for a lot of the Irish companies, it's not as effective as it could be.
They did a survey a few years ago, and they reckoned there was about 20,000 lobbyists in Brussels for various interests. And we're the representatives of young people, we're 25. So it's not very many. We're fighting against a lot of very, very strong interests.
The pressure from lobbyists is huge, but it's absolutely skewed towards private industry, and NGOs and charities are minuscule when you compare it to the might of the large scale. Like even the tobacco directive, people will tell you who were here in the last legislature, it was just phenomenal, the amount of lobbying that took place by the tobacco industry.
But it is an awful lot more difficult when you don't have that strong voice that a voting can give to an age group.
On more broad issues, there's the European Citizens Initiative, and that's under Lisbon. It was put forward to try and engage citizens with the EU, that if you got 1 million signatures, you could bring a proposal to the Commission for legislation. And there's a quota for each country. So I think Ireland's quota is about 3,500, the minimum amount of signatures, and they're all verified signatures. So that's another option that people have for engaging. And again, the first successful one of those was the Right to Water campaign. You've won now on TTIP, which has actually got 3 million signatures. But I would always say, contacting personally as well is important.
For the most part, a simple email to Deirdre. I mean, Deirdre is willing to meet with people from all political walks of life. That's what she sees as part of her role, to sit down, to listen, to take on board the opinions of everybody when it comes to a piece of legislation, when it comes to a policy, and then use her own judgment to formulate her opinions on what she thinks is the right thing to do, the right thing for Ireland, the right thing for Ireland South, and the right thing that will benefit us.
Lobbying is probably to know what legislation, it's all in the public domain, is going on there, to contact your MEP and tell them what you think. That way lies possible amendments as well, where we can write amendments. If we think people really want something to be a certain way, we can write amendments. And being involved in politics too, young people need to engage, and they need to engage on everything to do with politics, in my opinion.
If anyone emails me or rings me, I'll get back to them. It might take me a day or so, but we'll get back to them. It's no hassle.
I get emails regularly. in fact, I probably get more through Facebook from people at this stage than through regular mail.
The email lobby is very effective, and especially if people put their constituency. Because if you're getting a heavy lobby from Irish citizens, and particularly from your own constituency, well, then it does make you sit up and pay attention. So it is very effective.
Through social media, that's how I try and project myself. I have totally shunned. People might say, oh, you've been very quiet in the media. As far as I'm concerned, that media is dead to me. Because I used to, at one stage, think, OK, I'm getting my message out. I wasn't getting my message out. I was getting what they wanted my message to be out there, which was never my message. So I've kind of moved away from all of that.
The media present this nonsense that because we're in Strasbourg here, or we're in Brussels, which you have to be effectively 3 or 4 days a week out of every 7 days, that in some ways we're detached from the political process back home. Nothing could be further from the truth. I mean, the truth is the level of media coverage on what goes on in Parliament is minuscule back home, and that frames the debate, but it's dishonest. It's not the truth at all.
Very often the Irish interests and Irish stakeholders, whereas they might lobby some of the Irish politicians, they never go beyond that. They never really explore, okay, let's lobby all the French, let's lobby the Italians, let's lobby the Dutch. Whereas we have lobbyists from every corner of Europe who are coming to us with their concerns and coming to us with their issues and problems. So yeah, it's something we definitely need to work on and probably professionalize more.
Well, it is a complicated process, and it's not, you don't get the debates, the back and forth that you get in the Dáil, so it's hard to make it more interesting to people. But that's the job of an MEP. And if you're over here and you're elected, then your job is to try and make it understandable to people and to try and engage it and make it relevant to them.
I think it's probably an Irish culture thing as well. We have a very relaxed attitude to lobbying. And our lobbying is more socially done over maybe a drink or dinner or coffee or whatnot. But we probably would benefit more from professionalising it, surely, yeah.